Peace and welcome to Oddly Familiar, the series where we point out possible inspiration, parody, accident, samples, or maybe just straight rip-offs. No matter what it is, it's something that makes you think, I've heard that somewhere before. So with no further delay, here is Oddly Familiar episode 48. Number 10 is a theme from Bully, the Sumo Menu theme. And here is the old Japanese song titled Sakura, Sakura. Up first, we have quite an easy one to hear. There wasn't a single note that was changed, but this theme is quite old and is public domain. So if you want to make your own rendition, you can do just that. I prefer this over something like the Oriental Riff. I have said it before and I will say it again. If you want an Asian theme, don't be lazy and use the Oriental Riff. That's just a generic sound and doesn't actually represent any real Asian culture. It's a Western-made theme that was created to have an Asian sound, while Sakura Sakura is a real Japanese song and has a real story behind it. It's one of the most popular songs in Japanese history, and I would say nearly 100% of the population of Japan would know this and be able to identify it immediately. It's so popular that we created a video about its history, and we will include that link in the description if you are interested in knowing more about it. Number 9 is another theme from Bully, the Sumo Lost theme. And here is the generic Oriental Riff. A mini double whammy just because they are both from the same game. As I just stated in the last entry, this is a generic theme created by Westerners and used to portray something Asian in whatever media they decide to use it in. But I think a talented composer can do better than this and either create their own Asian-sounding theme or use a public domain song from said country. With that being said, this has been used a ton in video games. So much so that we even created a montage of it. So if you like this one, we will leave this link in the description as well. Number 8 comes from Video and Arcade Top 10, the intro theme. And here is Mega Man 2, the Crash Man theme. So up next we have a reverse Oddly Familiar entry. If you have ever watched Video and Arcade Top 10, then the intro theme may have been familiar to you. This one is no accident, it's from a show about video games, so it makes perfect sense. Mega Man 2 was first released in December of 1988, while Video and Arcade Top 10 made its debut in 1991. Video and Arcade Top 10 is a Canadian TV show that was on the air until 2006. The theme music for the show was composed by Nicholas Schneer. According to his IMDb, he has 34 composer credits, with his first work coming from none other than Video and Arcade Top 10. It also shows that he is still active, with his latest work not released yet, at least at the time of making this video. I don't think you will find any Mega Man in his new music, but I always like to see a composer from back then still working on music to this day. Number 7 comes from Fatal Fury, a track titled Just a Little Smart Fighting Fellow. And now let's compare that to Street Smart, the Stage 1 theme titled City Streets. Up next, we have one from Fatal Fury, which is actually a tune that was released a few years prior in the beat-em-up game Street Smart. While checking who composed the themes, I noticed this single line on the wiki page for Street Smart. It states, the background music heard in the first stage was later reused as the two-player battle theme for SNK's 1991 fighting game, Fatal Fury for the Neo Geo. Both games are developed and published by SNK. This one is not an accident and not a coincidence. The original composition was composed by Toshikazu Tanaka. He worked with SNK until he joined the musical unit Studio Aqua. He is also known for composing several titles that are associated with Noise Factory. Number 6 is the Sonic Mania mini-boss theme. And this contains a sample from James Brown, Get Up Off of That Thing.
I'm back! Get up off of that thing!
So this one is more than just inspiration, it's an audio snippet that was cut out of the James Brown song and used in Sonic Mania. The Sonic franchise is known for using samples from Sonic on the Sega CD to Sonic Rush on the DS. This James Brown sample is quite popular. The song was released in May of 1976, and it has been used hundreds of times in all sorts of genres, from hip-hop to pop to other video games. A few quick examples are Michael Jackson, Madonna, Public Enemy, the movie Ghost Dog, and you can even hear it in the game GoldenEye 007. But we will be talking about that in one of our next Oddly Familiar episodes. In at number 5, we have the Sega beat-em-up game, DD Crew, the Stage 1 theme. And here we have another James Brown song, titled Get Up, I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine.
Get on up like a sex machine. Get on up. Get up.
A sort of double whammy because the last two have been James Brown songs. The sample is from the background vocals by Bobby Bird. I like ones that are easy to find and confirm, and when the vocal sample is close to the song title, that definitely helps out. This song was released in 1970, and like our previous entry, it has been sampled hundreds of times. It has also appeared in our Oddly series before when Sonic & Knuckles' Bonus Stage 2 theme was found to be quite similar. It wasn't a sample, but the inspiration is clear. When it comes to the game DD Crew, the gameplay is stiff and I do not recommend it, but some of the themes aren't too bad.
Stay on the scene. Get on up like a sex machine. Get on up. Shut up already. Shut up already.
In at number 4, we have another theme from DD Crew, the first boss theme.
Shut up already. Shut up already.
This sample comes from Prince, a song titled Housequake.
Shut up already! Damn!
So we have a returning theme from a previous Oddly episode. We were talking about one sample, and one of our viewers noticed another sample. Shout out to Super Low Pursuit for pointing out this one coming from the song Housequake. As I said in the previous entry, I do not recommend this game. The controls are very stiff, and it's a bit disappointing considering it was released the same year as the first Streets of Rage game, another Sega beat 'em up. Some of the themes are okay, although they do get repetitive, they aren't too bad in moderation. DD Crew was developed and published by Sega. The composer is unknown because the end credits of the game only showcase the 4 selectable characters. An odd decision by the devs.
Shut up already. Damn. Shut up already.
Shut up already. Damn.
Up next, number 3 comes from Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang, Eastern Heroes. And that is the theme from the Kung Fu movie, Flag of Iron. So one thing I can say, this one actually got us a copyright claim when I uploaded the last Oddly Familiar episode and used this Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang theme during the outro credits. YouTube claimed it was the theme from Flag of Iron, so no research was really needed. YouTube let us know. If you ever have an unknown song and want to know who and what it is, try uploading it to YouTube. They will let you know. Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang was first released on Steam, allowing early access in 2016. It was officially released in 2018, with a later release on the Xbox One in May 2020, and an even later release date on the Nintendo Switch in September 2020. The game is heavily inspired by many different Kung Fu movies, so if you are into martial arts movies, then you might want to check this one out. Number 2 is from the game Solar Jetman, Hunt for the Golden Warp Ship, and the theme Shish Kebab, Approaching Planet 8. And here is the theme to Superman. Quick shout out to longtime viewer Sean Torres for bringing this one to our attention. Superman the character debuted in 1938 with the release of Action Comics number 1. The comic went on sale for an entire 10 cents. The comic these days can go anywhere from $700,000 to $3 million. However, this theme comes from the 1978 Superman movie starring Christopher Reeve with the soundtrack by none other than John Williams, who you may have heard from a little movie named Star Wars. Solar Jetman was released in 1990 for the Nintendo Entertainment System, with the soundtrack being composed by David Wise. The game received generally positive reviews, but did receive some criticism for its difficulty. The game was developed mostly by Zippo Games under the name of Iota before changing the name at the request of Rare. You can play it nowadays on Rare's 2015 Xbox One compilation, Rare Replay. Our top spot today comes from Tenchu 2, Birth of the Stealth Assassins, a theme titled Shiren. And here is a clip from the Malcolm in the Middle episode titled Cliques. So I was watching this episode of Malcolm, and all of a sudden these percussions started to play and I recognized it immediately. This Malcolm episode aired in 2002, while the Tenchu game was released in 2000. However, these percussions are from a sample library. We have covered this exact sample 5 times in previous episodes, It has been used quite a few times. And one of those even comes from a different video game, Rayman 2. We placed this at our number 1 spot because our next oddly familiar episode will be concentrating on nothing but this sample. It has been used that many times where we can dedicate an entire episode to it. So there you have episode 48. If you have stuck around for 48 episodes, then I gotta give you a huge thanks. I never thought we would do this many when I made the first episode, but here we are. I also want to give a huge shout out to all of our gold level patrons, Bersona, Quantum, Chris Hayes, and Dimitri. And if we can reach our goal, we will be sending out a random soundtrack each month to a random patron. All you have to do is check our Patreon page and you will see we are more than halfway there. Anyways, I am ICC. Thanks for watching. Peace.